You know how you wait every year at the same time, do the same things last minute, and you say to yourself, this next year, this time, I am not going to go through this again because it's such a headache. You were overwhelmed, and many times you went over your budget. So today we're going to talk about setting seasonal goals so that this does not happen to you every time of the year. And then I am also going to talk to you about 5 things that you need to know about your body that your mama did not tell you. And today we're going to talk about your energy, your breathing better, and things that help your brain to think better. All right. So that's where we're going today. So, hi everyone. Welcome my YouTube, Substack, Facebook, Twitch, and all of the rest. I thank you for coming on this live and today being on my Momafey Live Conversations. And you know what the drill is. These are about the 3 podcasts that I have that we currently have running. And the first one that we're going to talk about is yes, the Mama Faye Becoming Me podcast, which is about goal setting basically. And I did this episode this week, and it is about seasonal goals because what I realize is a lot of times we have the original goals that we have, but there are things that we do every year or things that are happening in our life every year. And a lot of times they catch us by surprise, like every year, and these are things that normally happen in our lives all season year long, but they happen in seasons. So I sat down and realized, okay, I remember in my life how prior to me doing this, and I didn't know, I kind of came up with that term just recently, but I was doing it, and then I realized that that's how I was able to accomplish more. And it's really about you being able to accomplish more, to have more impact, and to feel like you have a little bit of a control about what's going on in your life and your money, and trying to make sure that when you're juggling several things at one time, it helps when you have some type of goal set so that at the end of all of this juggling, you have something to show to prove that you've worked hard. Because if I didn't do that, then a lot of times it feels like, okay, I really worked hard, but I don't see nothing. I don't feel like I got anything to show for it. So, this is a great way to be able to prove to yourself that you are really growing and that you have made some type of impact in your own life. So, seasonal goals are a great way to do that. And in those seasonal goals, I also wanted to go over some of the things, some of the ways that you can begin doing your goals for the season. And what I mean by seasons, for some of you, I'm sure everybody know, but I'm going to say it anyway, is the summertime. You do certain things. Usually it's 4th of July for some people, Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth for those that celebrate. And also summer camp. If you have kids, usually a summer camp or who's going to keep the kids. And also a lot of people do summer vacations. And so all of that comes the same time, usually the same time of year. And then we have our fall goals where you are now back to school. That requires for many people uniforms. Those supplies are very expensive. And where they're going to go to school, sometimes you have to go register kids for school, and you know that there's a whole list in order for you to register your children. It's a list, and for those of you who have babies, it's a whole list that you have to go through in order to be able to register them into a school. And then there's also, for those that celebrate Halloween, you have Halloween. Some people have Jewish holidays that they also observe, and also other religions do too, or organizations. And then you have those holidays that always come every year, but somehow it surprises us that we have those holidays. And then on top of that, you have the January, the first of the year. Now you finally got through the holidays and you spent your money and all of that. But lo and behold, the year turns around, comes in, the new year comes in, and here comes another set of things that happen at the first of the year. And so, for those of you who do Valentine's Day, that's one of them. And also, too, for some of us, because I don't necessarily uh, remember during the year. So, what I like to do at the first of the year is I do all of my visits to the doctors, the dentists, the eye doctors. I do all of that usually in January. And then there is the spring, spring cleaning, and also some people spring break. And also, you have the Easter season for those that celebrate. Then you go into Mother's Day. And then also, don't forget those birthdays and those other events that you are a part of that happen. People invite you to weddings, special birthdays. Sometimes you have a child or you are graduating from school, or you have all of these things that happen throughout the year. And a lot of times we don't goal set for those things. And so that's why it becomes overwhelming, because we have not really planned. But what if I told you that you can actually plan for those seasons? And so I found out that planning for the next season prior to that time frame helps you so much more. It doesn't mean that you're going to be stress free, but what it does mean is it doesn't catch you by surprise like it have in the past. So I wanted to the episode this week that we put out is about all about goal setting. So I want you to encourage you to go and listen to that particular podcast, because I talked to you about the goal planning. And what I'm excited, and I'm going to tell you about it later, is I also made a planner. It's really a goal setting planner, but I think some people like the word planning. So I put together a goal setting planner for each one of the seasons that this one is guided, so you can kind of use that as a way of becoming prepared for each one of the seasons that happen in your life. So I want to encourage you to actually do that goal planning. And today, I'm going to give you about four things that you can do today to start. And the first one is making a seasonal list. And I would say to do this probably in December or the first of the year. Most of us, we like starting fresh on the first of the year, and that's okay. But you can do it anytime during the year. And so you would start with your goal seasonal list, and you will start with the winter months, or you could do it by month or by season. And you would write out the things that you know already that you're going to be a part of, and write those things out so that you have a list of those things that you are going to be doing. And then the second thing you can do is set a goal money date about how much you think that you're going to spend. Because let's face it, the biggest part of seasonal planning and goals, and why these things catch us by surprise, because they take two things: our time and our money. And so a lot of times we have a deficit on both. So by planning and sitting with those lists and writing out about how much roughly that you want to spend on each one of those things that you have on that list is going to help you tremendously. And then the next thing is to create a buy early list. Because when you buy things that are out of the season that you're in, a lot of times you can get discounts. So you can start doing some of the buying. And you may say, well, my budget is already stretched. But you'll be surprised some of the little things that has to go into that season that you can buy. I'll give you an example. For those of us who live in areas where hurricane season comes, we have to plan every year for hurricanes. Now, some people don't plan, and what do? They usually go and they wait until the warning comes. Then, usually, they start buying stuff for hurricane season for the whole season, and usually they have not budgeted for it. So now your budget is broken because you didn't plan. But if you start getting those things early in the season prior, which is spring and in your winter season months, you'll be surprised that some of those things are discounted when you buy it out of the season. And you don't have to do everything, but start. Because once you start, then let's say the warning does happen, you don't have such a big list to have to go out and get. And then you're out there with everybody else trying to get things that if it is missing on the shelf. So now you got to try to run and get to the line and get in front of everybody because you need it. And now it's the supplies are not there and it's not in full, and then you end up having to pay for something that was more expensive because the cheap stuff left. So this is what seasonal planning and seasonal goals help you to prevent. And so I encourage you to do that. And then one of the other things that we a lot of times forget to do, and then it becomes a last minute thing. And I know that you, just like me, hate when people wait till the last minute to give you an axe that they knew that they needed you weeks before, months before. I mean, you would like that axe as soon as they know that they're going to need you, right? So that is, you have to plan some things with family and friends. So write down the people that you need to talk to about whatever it is that you want to plan. If you're going to have a graduation big party and you want people to come, the minute that you do this type of goal setting, you will contact those people and say, hey, save the date, right? Or if you want them to help you with it, then you would want to have a setup a meeting with them and save the date for this meeting. So all of these things help you and help me. I can say me personally, it helps to be able to even out your year because most of us, we have some months that are a little bit easier than other months. And for some reason, sometimes you have birthdays that come at the same time a holiday come. You have, like I said, family events that happen at the same time, friends. A lot of times at your work or business, every year you have certain things that you do at your work or your place of business or your business. Put that into your seasonal goals so that you will be ready. And then, so those, hopefully, those will help you get started on your season. So, you do not want to just plan the season you're in, but you want to plan for the season that is coming because peace often shows up and start before the pressure shows up. So, let's do that. And then we also let you know I also want to let you know that I have the Becoming Me Goals journal, and this one is a seasonal one that I just told you about, that, and it's called Seasonal Life Planner. And the Seasonal Life Planner is, like I said, it's guided. But this time I wanted to thank those that are a part of my paid subscribers on Substack, and I have a copy of that planner that they can download absolutely free. So I want to encourage you to become a subscriber, a paid subscriber, and these are one of the perks that a lot of my paid subscribers get. And I'll try to put a teaser for those that are my free subscribers, because I thank everybody, even if you're free or paid subscriber, I appreciate you being here and being a part of what we're doing. And so I want to celebrate you, all of the people, everybody that support what we're doing. So next, I want to talk about the other podcast that is coming soon, and that is the Small Steps Big Change podcast is coming back. And I've been giving you some teasers, and the name of this series is Things You Need to Know That Your Mama Should Have Told You. And today, because I want you to get ready for that podcast, I want to give you 5 things that you need to know to help your body, your energy, and you to breathe better, and plus keep your brain on point. And so let's get right into it. And the first one is, and I have to myself, I must admit, some of these have to go into my morning routine because I do not specifically do these the way that they is recommended. And these are scientific based points that I'm giving you from the experts, right? And the first one is to walk after meals. So I regularly exercise, but I don't walk after meals. And it says that taking a short walk after eating helps lower your blood sugar, helps support digestion. So those of you who have digestive issues, definitely walking will help to get that moving. And I'll give you another secret that someone said is to sit up 2 hours after eating also helps with that as well, especially if you have an issue with, your tummy hurting after you eat. These are some of the things. Of course, you want to always go to the doctor and find out why you're having stomach issues. But once that has been cleared up, then all these are some things that can help. And this simple habit may help lower the risk of diabetes. Can you imagine that? So, what is recommended is to walk 10 to 15 minutes after breakfast, lunch, or dinner. But of course, this is for people who have regular checkups. You've already asked your doctor that it's okay for you to walk. And then if you're not a person that walk um, all the time, I recommend that you start slowly. Maybe you might want to walk for 1 minute and then gradually make your way up to 15 minutes. Don't start at 15 if you was sitting on the couch for, the last 10 years. All right. And then get morning sunlight. So this is one I'm very guilty of, because usually don't like getting up in the morning. And if I am, I'm usually doing my morning routine. But it says the morning sunlight helps control your body internal clock. And what it does, if you want having problems with sleeping, that it will improve your sleep. And guess what? It also improves your mood and your energy. Now, I can say for myself, I love when I get up and I open my blinds and I see that sun out there. It does make a difference with my mood. So it is. And then the days when I see that it's cloudy, I feel a little, I still get up, but it doesn't give me that motivation that it does when the sun is out. And I love when I see those blue skies. So it really does work. And so what is recommended is to spend 10 to 30 minutes outside within the first hour of waking up. So I know for some of you that's going to be a little challenge. It is for me, but if you're having issues with mood, energy, and sleep, we might want to get up and go out and get into that sun. And then this one I do actually do is improving the air quality inside your home. And what it's saying is that people spend much of their lives indoors, which we do, and there is dust, smoke, mold, chemicals in the air that can affect our breathing and our heart health. And so, what is recommended is to open the windows when possible. Now, some of us live in this Florida heat, and then in the wintertime, it's a little bit too cold to have your windows open. So, that's very few opportunities that you can open your window. And then some of you live in areas where, you open those windows, you might have some extra guests. So, what also is recommended is using air filters. And so, having an air filter in your home helps to purify the air. And of course, if you're a smoker, we all know that you shouldn't be smoking inside. We hope that everybody's not a smoker by now. But if you are, make sure that you're doing that outside, not in the car, but in a very well ventilated area. And then here's another one because most of us, we work online, we work on the computer most of the time. Not everybody, but this one is another one that I have to really watch. And I've been trying to monitor this as well. And that is sitting less during the day because it's so easy to sit in front of your computer and get so focused in what you're doing until we forget to move. And so, even people who exercise can be harmed by sitting for several hours. So, just because you go to the gym for however minutes and then come home and or to your place of business and sit at the computer all day or for 3 and 4 hours at a time, it is apparently that's not good. So they recommend that we stand every 30 to 60 minutes. So that's every half hour or on the hour, intentionally get up. Even if you don't move away from the computer, at least stand up. Now they have those desks that you can actually rise up with you and you can stand up and still continue to talk and still do your work on your computer. So it is recommended that you take 30 to take every 30 minutes or every 60 minutes to scratch, to walk around your home or your office. So I hope that really helps you. And to challenge your brain, we need to learn new skills that create new connections in the brain. And I like this one because this is something that I like to do every so often is to learn a new skill because learning a new skills triggers your brain to have to think. And so you want to make sure that you are doing something, a new skill. You don't have to learn a new skill every day, but try to learn something. And maybe something that you always was interested in, to try it because it says that the experts believe that this may help the brain be healthy as we age. So it's recommend, and I do too, learning a language. Something I want to get more into is learning a new language, taking a class, playing music or trying a new hobby. And for some of us, we have other things that we need to learn, and maybe because we want to do a different job or we want to be able to communicate. That's a great way of learning those things. So, if this really helped you and you want more information like this, and it's going to be on different things, these are things that your mama that you need to know that your mama did not tell you. And this new series is going to drop in July. And I'm thinking about my podcasts so far have been um, audio, but I'm really thinking about making this one video. We'll see. And so it's going to start in July, and that's a part of the Mama Face Small Steps Big Change podcast. Uh, so I wanted to put that in. And now I also want to just let you know that the Understanding Cycles by Mama Faye, we have just wrapped up a series called Winning While Under Attack. I encourage you to go back and listen to that series. But Understanding Cycles by Mama Faye is also going to come back this fall. And this fall, we are going to be talking about the two first ladies and a king. And that is coming from the book of Esther. And I dropped a little teaser because you all know I like to tease you and try to get you to understand what we're going to be doing. And so the first teaser podcast dropped last Friday, and it was about when beauty makes people miss your value. Because I did mention last week on the Momafey Live Conversations, I did mention about how, pretty people, a lot of times they do have, certain things that happen. And this particular podcast talks about that because I wanted to go more into details about the different things that happen to pretty people and the challenges that they make. And one of the things is in this particular series, I started out with this first lady who was Vasi, who was a part, and this is coming from the book of Esther for those of you who read Bible. And she was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And because of her beauty, she experienced certain things that was really disrespectful. And I've looked at this story for years, and I always said, well, why did she not respond when the king had called for her? And she ended up, with a consequence because she did not respond. But I had to go and take a second look at this first lady. And I realized that this first lady, it wasn't just about the king calling for her, it was about what he wanted her to do. And at that point, she had made a conscious decision that she was tired of having to do that and having that experience, because even though it was a great experience probably for him and his friends, it was not a great experience for her. And so she made a decision to do something about it by not responding. So I want you to go back and listen to that, because when I bring back the series, we're going to talk about the first lady and then the second lady, which the second first lady, who was Esther, who took over after her. And we're going to talk about her journey. But we also going to get to the plot, because there was a plot. That's people, when people plotting against you. And then we're going to talk about the revenge, because a lot of times, we don't like to talk about revenge, but there's revenge. And then we're going to talk about the unexpected come up, how there was an unexpected come up for someone in there, two unexpected come ups. So we're going to get down into it, and it's going to apply to our everyday life. So I want to encourage you, if you have not already, you need to subscribe. And I want you to know that these three podcasts actually, I believe all three of them go to my Facebook, to YouTube, and definitely they live on Substack, and two of them live on podbean.com. So I want you to definitely get involved in that, because they are good, and you can pick and choose which one you want to listen to. But I want to thank you, and I do want to take this opportunity to thank everyone. My first podcast, which was Small Step Big Change, um, was a year old. So I want to thank you. And many people downloaded that, and I reached. I had a goal, and I was able to reach that goal. And then the second podcast, which I started, I believe, in August, and that was the Understanding Cycles by Mama Faye. And that one has reached its goal as well, and it'll turn a year in about August. And then my latest baby, which is the Mama Faye Becoming Me podcast, and that one is doing well. And I want to encourage you all to go and to listen and like and subscribe and download it too, because you can download the episodes and listen to them as you're going about your day, and as you laying down in the bed, and while you're in the shower, and when you're waiting at the doctor's office, all types of way where you can learn. And I try to give you valuable information. And if it's something that you want me to discuss, or you have a question, you can always reach out to me through messaging on Substack. And I look at my Facebook comments. I look at all of my comments, and I try to go back and I try to respond where I can. And so I want you to continue to do that. And I also appreciate everyone that watch my Momafey live conversations. I bring this every week, and my hope is to be able to have live dialogue with you on each one of these weeks. And I try to also give you the little teaser of the background information about those particular podcasts, and try to give you some background information and additional information that may not be in the actual episode, so that you have that as well. So I want to encourage all of you who listen. I want you to continue to do so. And I want you to not only do that, but those of you who have been listening to me, who have been following what I'm doing, I do want to encourage you, if you can, to support what I'm doing. And two ways you can support. And the first one, well, three ways you can support. The first one is becoming a supporter by subscribing and becoming a paid subscriber. Now, when you subscribe for free, that helps me too. So if you can't become a paid subscriber, go ahead and become a free subscriber. And that you would do on it wherever you are listening to this. You would subscribe or follow or like. And also too, you can on my Substack, because that way it's a little bit more personal. It goes directly to your inbox. And I promise you, I don't inbox you every day. Those are the only things that you're getting from me. And also to that newsletter, because with each one of those podcasts, I have a newsletter that goes out as well, and it's a part of that. And for those who paid a yearly subscription, you also become a part of the Becomers Club, where you'll get additional, like I said, you'll get additional um, uh, things that I will send out to you. And you also can have a coaching session. You get free ebooks, and you get discounts on some journals, planners, and also there's a private page on my website, momafey-ht.com, where you will automatically have access to that as well. And then the second way that you can help and support is by donating. And you can donate at momafey-ht.com. And then also you can buy merch from there just to support what I'm doing, because most of the things that I put on there is just for you to support what I'm doing. And you can get a free merch for that support. And some of them are webinars, some are ebooks, some are downloads, PDF downloads, and there are some t-shirts and canvas bags and things like that. And so I want you to make sure that you put on your notifications so you'll know when I'm going to go live, and you can be a part of that as well and help build up my community, because once we get it built up, then we'll be able to communicate more with each other, have chats, have community, and I can see and ways that we can support one another in our goal setting, and for those of you who want a part of that spiritual walk, we can do that too. I am here for it. and continue to be a part of these lives. Make sure that you like, make sure you share, make sure you comment. Those are things that help. And of course, I want to hear from you because that lets me know that what I'm giving you is things that really help and benefit you. So that's it for today. And I will see you next time.